do a little commentary for the video, so you guys just ignore this side of it. Huh? What'd you say? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just, you know, throw random obscenities in there and try to mess me up. No. Yep, do it before the light turns. And don't roll back you, because I'm right on your pannier. Did you see how dirty mine is? Good Lord. The gravel lot made a mess out of mine yesterday. Good morning all. I am riding out with the boys here for the first part of the Tulsa trip. This is day 2. We're gonna meet at Pops out in Arcadia. Take a leisurely stroll up Highway 66 to Tulsa. We're all on the Cardos, but unfortunately you're not going to hear the other side of that because I don't have my additional unit linked in. So they're going to be throwing in random thoughts in my ear, probably trying to mess me up on the commentary here. Yeah, they're already doing it. Yeah, see if they can mess up the flow. Better loud than nothing. After the car. Yep. I'm from Houston, man. I make spots. There's no engraved invitations in Houston. You want in, you make a spot. Yep. Well, you just missed one in your rearview mirror. Some guy in a car just tried to run me over because he doesn't look before he changes lanes. I saw it coming, so I backed off and then went around him and gave him the one-finger salute, of course. So, for everybody watching the video, Nick is asking if we can do a, like a Q&A, a comparison on riding in Houston versus riding around here, that sort of thing. And to answer his question was case in point. Cagers don't pay attention anywhere. The guy knew I was there. He was just being a tool like this one right here. People intentionally trying to box you, run you over. It's just aggression and just plain out lack of courtesy. So yeah, Nick, another one just happened in your rearview mirror. Lady in a Jetta comes right up next to me, hits her signal, and tries to squash me out. Well, she knew I was there, and I'm not going to yield because I got people up my butt. So she has to yield. I was already there. Yeah, riding in busy cities, especially in rush hour traffic, is always dicey because people in cages have this false sense of anonymity and protection from their cage. So they think they don't have to obey the rules and mind their manners. And law of the jungle, yeah, they might win in an altercation, but yeah, it's just plain rude, man. Oh yeah, well, that's right, that's exactly it. It's assault with a deadly weapon. vehicular assault is on the books, so, you know. Goody. Yeah, you're just chilling down the merchandise, so it's good for later. little cryo preservation. That's right. I'll just edit that bit out. Everybody on video, this is the section of road right here, this exact S-curve that I was talking about in the previous vid, where a guy ended up squishing himself underneath a tractor trailer, and everybody was scattered in every which direction, and I was on a bike and I managed to thread through it at 70 miles an hour. Okay, back to the fun. Yep. I was busy commentating an accident that I missed here 25 years ago. Quite all right, no worries. Yep. Yeah, this section of road sucks anyway, especially in rush hour. One of my previous vlogs, I had kind of talked about a real nasty situation coming through here. Some guy in a, I don't remember what car he was driving now, but he decided that he was going to thread through traffic at 90 plus through that section, and miscalculated trying to come around somebody, and ended up losing traction and sliding broadside underneath a 18-wheeler while everybody's in motion. Yeah, I was on a bike, not even, I don't know, 50 yards behind it. And yeah, okay. So I was on a bike traveling the same speed, about 50 yards behind it when it all went down, and I managed to duck through all of it. 13 cars got stacked up, and I went right through all of it. That's it. It's all flow of traffic. It's not roads, you know, the speed limits. That's it. You become a rolling roadblock, and you're your own problem. Yeah, I told you it wasn't being polite. He was being a tool. Yeah, I've been riding for 35 plus years and over 2 million, or about 2 million miles, and I've learned to judge character pretty quickly. Yeah, it's windy today, but it's going north. It's going north, so we're going to be going with it today. That's great. Yeah, well, hopefully it'll shift by then. Oh, okay, so David just asked, you know, traffic issues, what's the scariest moment that I've ever had on a bike? That's a good question. I've had quite a few. There's, I don't think I have a number one, but I would say I've got my top 5, and let's start off with the most recent of those 5. They're debating on which lane we need. Okay, so starting off with the most recent of the hairy moments, I would say hitting a deer at 75 miles an hour in the middle of the night on a sport bike. That was entertaining. Luckily, the deer was not upright on 4 legs. It was already down from a previous truck strike. And I didn't see it until it was too late. You know, country highway, moving 75 miles an hour, and all you see is a little flash of fur on the ground, and you have a split second to react. You never want to grab the brake because you're going to panic stop, wash your front end, and you're going over. So all I did was motocross it, you know, stand up, grab the bars real tight, and wait for the impact. And I ended up hitting the deer right at the shoulders, and I got launched about 3 feet in the air, both wheels. But luckily, it didn't take down the bike or me, and it didn't bend my forks, so I was able to continue on home. Sorry? Yeah, stuck the landing. I shed, you know, probably 15 miles an hour from, you know, initial braking plus impact, but I stayed upright. I was lucky. And I got a handful of them. No, he was already down from a truck strike, and the funny thing was the truck was sitting about 300 yards down the road on the side of the road with his emergency flashers on. So I'm immediately locked into this guy on the side of the road as a threat. I wasn't looking at the pavement for a threat. So it was a little misleading, and you know, he was stopped to check out damage on his truck, obviously, but yeah, it about spelled the end for me. If I'd hit the deer center mass, yeah, it would have downed me for sure. Yeah, it took me about a good 30 minutes to get the seat cushion out of my ass, I'll tell you that. Because it was pucker, stand, and wait for the impact. So I think out of all of them, my number one scariest moment, it didn't happen. It wasn't scary to me in the moment. It was scary afterwards, the realization of it. Was on Loop 610 in Houston. I was on my Honda Silverwing and just commuting in traffic, you know, normal routine in the mornings, and some a-hole in a truck had an improperly secured load, and he had dropped a bunch of full-length 2x4s on the highway. Yeah. So I'm cruising along, and it's dense traffic. You know, you can't see through traffic, between traffic, any of that. I mean, it's very busy. And we're all moving along 65 miles an hour. And the only indication that I had that trouble was coming is about 4 cars up, I saw everybody hit the brakes and swerve. And I was like, oh, crap, you know, here it comes. And I immediately hit the brakes and slowed down to about 50. And a truck that was in front of me shagged right, and there was an airborne 2x4 like a javelin headed straight for my head at head high, and I'm moving pretty much 60 miles an hour. And it was just instinct. I kind of dodged my head to the left, and it went right over my shoulder. It would have killed me. It would have killed me. Unequivocally, it would have killed me. It would have taken my head off. Yeah, no kidding. So that one, that's the closest hairy incident I've ever had. But again, it wasn't scary in the moment. It was scary afterwards, going, holy shit, I about bought it. Got a fast truck coming up on the left. Do your bikes wander around like crazy on this groove pavement like mine does? I mean, I'm just getting rocked. Oh God, I am just getting rocked. This is what I deal with in Houston on I-10 every damn day. Oh no, that's wind buffeting. This is I noticed Nick, your bike is not moving around nearly as much as mine, and I can't quite see David's, but I mean, I'm shagging 6 to 8 inches left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay, so yeah, Nick's question is, as far as road and street quality, which is better, Houston or Oklahoma? Answer there would be, yeah, Houston for the most part, the highways are much better than they are here in Oklahoma, but surface streets, not so much. Our city has been very lax and negligent in fixing a lot of our main thoroughfares at surface street level, and we have horrible problem with old concrete slab construction of the streets. It's not that jointless compound stuff, so we have huge issues with big potholes and patches, and yeah, it's just nasty. Stuff that can literally break your suspension when you go over it. It's that bad. Yeah. And the patches are good until it rains the next time, and then it's right back where you were, or worse. Pops! Google says turn right and then turn right. No, I think we're here. We made it here on time, guys. 10:01. Amazing. It didn't work though. I'm still ugly. Yeah, I ride with earplugs in and, you know, the helmet. I can't hear when I'm
dude, it was like
rolling.
I have earplugs, then I can actually hear. I'll hear Aaron. I have to turn it all the way up to hear him, and then you start talking. You're like,
I can hear him fine. He comes in at about the same audio level, so I don't know why it's so loud in yours.
You come in loud, and you come in real quiet.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like the audio leveling is weird. Ladies first. Be easier. Oh well. I'm gonna get across before traffic comes. Stagger up, same way she's facing. Yep. No, I'm just going to stop here short. Because we can. Yeah, well. Nope, we still got traffic on the right. Okay, we're clear on the right. Hit it. Yeah, we got a linebacker now too, good. We're good. Rolling. Ah, okay, good question. Okay, so Nick is asking, what changes would I make to the Ryker to make it more suitable for the American market or American riders? Good question. First and foremost, hazard switch for four-way flashers. Second, the parking brake lock. Both of those items should be standard. They shouldn't be add-ons. We shouldn't have to go sourcing that or scouring for parts or figuring out how to install it ourselves. Because they don't add any weight to the bike. Those parts are cheap. You're talking maybe 25 bucks. So increase the price of the bike by 25 bucks. As far as comfort, add-ons, that sort of thing, for my use, I need the ability to carry gear, whether that's with a pannier or some kind of useful size top box. But not everybody does the kind of riding and commuting that I do. So I would leave those alone. Leave that in the add-on or aftermarket arena. But the biggest change is better selection of tires. The one and only approved tire for the Ryker is the Kendas, and Kendas suck. There's just no nice way to say it. We need more selection of tires, more specifically tire tread. Be able to put on, summer radials versus these wannabe all-season that the Rally comes with. These are terrible. The rear tire on mine is so traction limited that I can spin it up even at 35, 40 miles an hour on dry pavement sometimes. And in the wet, I have some videos that I haven't posted because I don't condone hoodlum riding, but I can break the rear of this thing loose at 60 miles an hour on the highway and fishtail it at 60 miles an hour on the highway. That's crazy. So that tells me that the bike has got too much power, too little weight, and definitely not the right tread pattern to break the water patch. So not good. Yeah, driving lights would be good. I kind of like the ones that the Australian and New Zealand markets get. I think both of those get it. I know the New Zealand ones get the little light pods on the sides because that's mandated. So again, these are things that are in the BRP catalog. They're production parts. They're shelf items. make them an option for the U.S. bikes. Right? Okay, so Nick is saying that the radiator guard should be standard fare. I agree with that. The front end of these bikes is very, very low. Can-Am rates the Rally Edition at 5.5 inches of ground clearance or something like that. Yeah, right. 5.5 inches at the underbelly or the frame, but not the nose. The nose is lower. And once you're laden with rider weight on there, it decreases even further to about 4.5 inches. So, yeah, Nick is saying, yeah, tell him about the replacement. So, yeah, you're going to get rock strikes, you're going to get all kinds of things, and if you use the Rally Edition for its, supposed rough and tough off-road, yeah, that's a joke. This is a pavement bike. You take one stick in the radiator and your ride is over, and you're not taking it out of there, and good luck getting a wrecker into wherever you are to flatbed load that puppy. So, yeah, the radiator guard should be standard. Nick took a rock or something in his radiator, I don't know what it was, a couple months ago. And how much was it, Nick? 250, 300? Okay. All right, so the radiator replacement was 400 and change. Then he also had to get a radiator guard, which was another $100 or something. And then he got 2 more little additional pieces that fill the missing little kidney holes on the sides that the factory grill doesn't cover. So, yeah, that's an expensive repair that could have been avoided had the Ryker come with an OEM guard, right? Right. So BRP said that it wasn't a design omission or a malfunction, and they wouldn't cover something like that under warranty. So, yeah, and I can kind of see both sides of it. From their perspective, it wasn't a defect in the bike, but it was certainly a design omission, or it was a bad idea. Kind of like, one tire selection, or, lack of what I consider to be a fairly important safety item, and that's a 4-way flasher. So yeah, the BRP apparently has different ideas on what's good design and what's safe, and yeah, sure. That's exactly right. Yeah, so trying to make a price point is one thing, but omitting something that is such a low dollar item anyway, as far as, in terms of manufacturing, how much does the switch cost for the 4-way flashers? Maybe a couple bucks to them. How much would a radiator guard cost? $10? Throw it in. It's just silly that they're nickel and diming on the little things that make such huge improvements in the usability and the safety of the machine. Yeah. Well, correct. Yeah, and the lack of at least making those parts easily available, readily available to the U.S. customers is the puzzling bit. And I understand the behind-the-scenes pieces of it. You've got supply chain logistics. You've got the certain regulatory needs to stock those parts for X amount of years and all that. So I get it. So omitting those things from the parts catalog or availability in certain markets means that you don't have to maintain that part for 15 years or whatever it is. So I understand that. But they should still be orderable. Yeah. Yeah, this is a strawberry farm, right? All right. 33 miles to Rock Cafe. Are you going to stop there, genius? Right. Yeah, Nick is saying that where BRP has really fallen down is in the dealer education side on the Ryker platform. It's so new that everyone was rushing to get it out there, and not enough in the education, both on the sales side and service side for the bike. Because I was one of the first beta testers, test pilots, whatever you want to call me, I was finding out more about the bike than the dealers knew just by researching. And, I found my info on the internet and forums like everybody else, but then I got a much deeper insight into the behind the scenes when I talked to the engineer that actually designed the Ryker. And that was in my BRP conference call that I got escalated to because of my videos. Did any of you watch that Ryker meets Monster video of mine? Ryker meets Monster. I've got a Ducati Monster 1100 Evo. My son and I took out the Ryker and the Monster, and we were hitting some twisties out west of Houston, and I was throwing my Ryker into high-speed corners until the front end was pushing and the nanny shut me down. It was fun. You should switch with me, David, and take my bike through some of that with the stiffer sway bar on the front. It makes a big difference. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so David's asking, what is my favorite add-on for the bike? It's kind of a two-in-one answer. It's the windshield and the RiderScan mirror. Because the Ryker is so wide, it's the width of a smart car, you need to be cognizant of your blind spots, and the RiderScan for me is just a huge safety add-on. And then the windshield, the MadStad, I like the factory windscreen because it gave me a little wind protection for long highway rides, but the difference between the OEM screen and the MadStad is night and day. So yeah, my favorite add-on would definitely have to be the windscreen. Now, I like running it naked sometimes when I'm going around in town and, you know, not going to be sitting on the slab for 2 hours at a time, that kind of thing. And I'll run it naked. I kind of like the wind in my face, but over really long highway trips, it gets tiring. Okay, so Nick is asking, in all of my rides so far on the Ryker, have I had an incident, a high-speed incident, where I've had a wobble or an ABS lockup or anything like that? No. The two weird instances that I have had on the Ryker was front end chatter over some highway ripples at high speed, let's just say faster than the posted limit. And the thicker bar did solve that problem for me. The front end set up a really nasty jackhammer, and it was making the bike dance a half a lane side to side because of the ripples, and that was no bueno. Hey, yeah, I got an ADV guy, all right. The other weird incident I had was my right hand had kind of gone to sleep on me, so I was reaching over to set my cruise control. Well, I didn't have any index finger strength because my hand was asleep, so I reached over with my left hand to push it down, and I offed the bike. I hit the kill switch, and I was trying to figure out how to restart it at 65 miles an hour. That was a trick. You can. It does. It works. It does. Yep, it works, but it throws an error on the display for a couple of minutes. I forget what the error code was, but it doesn't like it much. Yeah, you go through the same routine that you normally do. You just have to do the brake real quick. So you hit the start button and the brake at the same time. You just don't apply much pressure. Yeah, you go through the same start procedure, that's right. You just roll forward, you know, obviously put the switch back on, roll forward, and then I just tap the brake and hit the start button at the same time, and back in business. But of course, I was in fast traffic on the highway. Yep. Oh, that's bad. Lost a cooler, that's no bueno. I saw the teddy bear. Oh my God, yeah, good question. Okay, so Nick is asking, have I ever been riding any of my bikes with my camera on, but not on? So in other words, wearing my camera and forgot to turn it on and missed an awesome situation. Yes, in fact, that just happened about a month and a half ago. I haven't posted any of that vlog yet, but my son and I went out on the scooters. I was on the Super Cub, and he was on the PCX 150, and we were going over to a local mall for a Porsche Club show. And on the way back, we were taking the access roads of I-10, and we were just about to get up on the highway, and we're moving along on the access road 55 miles an hour, so we were going plenty fast. Some cheese whiz in a brand new Camaro decided that we were going too slow for him. He nailed the gas, came flying around us at about 85 miles an hour, and then tried to shag in front of us before the merge ramp to the highway. Well, the merge ramp has a thin concrete median, like a curb that separates the main lanes and that. He didn't see that, and somebody else shagged over in front of him at the last second, so he tried to hit the brakes and not hit that guy, and he ended up shagging right, and he center punched the median with his Camaro, and I kid you not, he launched his car 3 feet in the air going over it. Destroyed the whole front end of the car. There was a giant oil and water slick going down the side of the road, and he destroyed his car. But seeing a Camaro 3 feet off the ground, that was kind of surreal. And I realized that I didn't have my camera running. I was like, oh my God, that would have been great. Yeah, he tore off his left front suspension, so the car went sliding to a stop over to the side of the road. Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. Yeah. Well, and all the riding that I do every year, you know, I see so many stupid incidents, you know, knucklehead drivers and near misses, you know, both for other people and myself. I usually edit most of that stuff out of my videos because I don't want to dwell on the bad stuff, and then you start getting, you know, a lot of haters and people critiquing your own riding, saying, yeah, it was your fault, you put yourself in that situation, and that kind of bullshit, you know, armchair quarterbacking it. He's back here doing jumping jacks and push-ups. Oh, gauge cluster. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, perfect question. So, what is my opinion on the Ryker's gauge cluster, and should it have more options or more stuff? Yes, first and foremost, it needs a dimmer, whether it's a manual dimmer or an auto dimmer, because at night or in parking garages or whatever, this display is so friggin' bright, it dilates my pupils, and it's a distraction to riding. As far as additional features and views, I don't know. I think the having real-time fuel consumption would be nice instead of average fuel consumption, but yeah, other than that, it's all right for me. It's not a touring rig, so. What would you like to see on it? Ah, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so if you can see a split trip and time up here on the top instead of one or the other. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're stuck with turn it on and drive it, and that's it. That's a great idea. Yeah, variable display colors, so you could change it off of orange. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't mind the orange. Yeah, blue would be good, yeah. I don't like the fact that it's so friggin' bright at night or in low light conditions. It should have an auto dimmer or at least a manual dimmer, you know, something. Right. Yeah, okay, so that's a good question. David's asking what's my take on, you know, the Ryker community, and if I'm a member of any of the Ryker pages or clubs or any of that. Green light. No is the answer. I'm not really much into social media, contrary to you know, how I should be, I guess, being on YouTube and whatnot. The forums, unfortunately, aren't very friendly, and I'll give my background on that. Unfortunately, most of the three-wheel crowd are Spider owners owners and riders. And unfortunately, that crowd tends to be much older and much more reserved. They're not young crowd. They don't think the same way. And I'll probably have to edit this bit out, but I think they're a bunch of crotchety old bastards. They're not nice. They've got way too strong opinions, and they want to convert everybody to their opinion instead of letting everybody be themselves. Yeah. So I got gang jumped, MS-13 jumped into Spider Lovers forum because somebody took my first video on this and posted it up in the group, and it went viral, and they were shit-talking me and bashing me for advising an incorrect service procedure, which is complete nonsense because I never advised any course of action. I was going off of what the manual said to do and saying, hey, this doesn't add up, I'm taking it back to the dealer. And, they were not very nice to me. So I went in there and set the record straight, and a few people realized, maybe we jumped the gun and we were being shitheads about it. So they were basically poo-pooing and bashing me for something that BRP had done and my dealer had not done properly. So, shoot the messenger. Yep. Cock. So the forums are just a bust for me. I don't like the forums, and I'm not enough into Facebook to find any groups that I think are interesting, with the exception of this group, obviously, and I just haven't been in it. So yeah, yay to Red Dirt Rykers. Now, what I said, I was going to give my little background on it. I actually went out and bought a ton of domain names that all surround the Ryker topic, and I'm sure BRP isn't liking me right now because they weren't first on the switch, but I bought 60 or some domains that all surround the Ryker name and domain and all that. Now, unfortunately, because I'm so busy, I haven't had time to do anything with them or capitalize on them, but my first brainstorm or epiphany on it was Ryker's Island. So for all the Ryker owners and us miscreants and the crazy a-holes that'll ride these things and put up with the eccentricities, that's going to be our little haven for our own community. And Spider Lovers, they've got a lot of knowledge, and they've been on the three-wheel platform for longer, but it's not the same animal. It's not the same machine, not even close. So yeah, sorry, I dropped out for a second because I was getting a toll-free telemarketer call. But yeah, I agree, Nick, on the customization thing. Yep. The Ryker is supposed to be all about customization. You change it to suit your needs and your riding habits. You can have a bad boy naked bike or turn it into almost like a touring rig, like I've done with mine. And the whole idea of everybody poo-pooing on each other's bikes, I don't get that. Right. Yeah. So Nick is saying that it's the older riders in particular that seem to be the instigators on the hate train, bashing on other people's bikes and stuff like that. And I agree with that. And that's kind of why I don't like a lot of those forums, because they're just full of crotchety old farts, and they're just not friendly. They're not inviting, and that pushes the younger people out of the game, or at least out of the community and the participation part of it. And that's just doing a disservice to all riders, because we need to get more young blood into motorcycling, or there's not going to be the next generation of riders. And when you start closing off your group and not allowing new people in, well, that group is going to die off as the members die off. And I'm also an amateur radio operator. I'm not a very active one because, again, that's a hobby that is full of crotchety old farts that are not welcoming to the young crowd. They don't want things to change. They want things to stay as they are. Well, guess what? Life is about change. You either adapt or you die. Good luck. Right. Yeah, Yeah, I agree with that. You know, the bike market has been stale for a really long time, and Honda has started shaking things up with a lot of their small displacement bikes that people are interested in. You know, the Grom kind of started it, and now they're continuing on with a lot of other interesting small displacement bikes. Now, the thing to keep in mind with that market trend is that's just the United States. Small displacement bikes are the rage. They're the big deal in most of the European countries and elsewhere in the world. But the American mentality of the bigger, better, faster stuff, everyone poo-pooed on all the small bikes for so long that the manufacturers won't bring them in. And that also means that it stifled the innovation for bikes that were brought into the States. So we didn't get a lot of the interesting stuff for a long, long time. Yeah, the license classes are different. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So that tiered licensing structure in Europe and elsewhere in the world, UK has it as well. We don't have that here. It's a wide open class. So again, that kind of plays into our bigger, better, faster mentality here in the United States. Nobody wants a small bike because they think it's not capable, it's not worthy, it's it's a girl's bike or a learner bike or blah blah blah. Hey man, it's your loss. You're missing out because the small bikes. Yeah, and if you're a Harley rider, and that's a group that pisses me off, Harley riders in general, they even shit on their own crowd. If you pull up in a group of Harleys and you're on a Sportster or one of the smaller bikes, you're riding a girl's bike. And when are you going to get a real bike? Yeah, eat my ass. I've got 15 real bikes in my garage, jack off. That's right. That's right. Yep, I agree. Right. Yeah, so Jackie's saying that the big heavy bikes and that extra weight is just not comfortable for some people to ride, whether you're small or stature or, short, vertically challenged like I am. Physically, I can handle those big bikes. I don't have a problem with strength, but it's a comfort factor. And riding around these 600-700 pound machines in town, especially when you've got a lot of stop and go and you've got crowned road surfaces, it's just one more mental challenge to always be hunting for the right spot in the road so you can get your feet down. And it's just silly. That's right. Right. And Nick is saying that, people, the whole you're not riding a real bike thing, I don't understand that. And that goes back to rider etiquette and just, human nature in general. A lot of people aren't as fortunate as I am, and I'll say it a million times over. I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I have. I am blessed with my career and my family and everything, so I am fortunate to have a lot of different machines, and I ride all modes of bikes. I've got everything from scooters to dirt bikes to ADV to touring bikes to hypersports, everything. And I don't have any prejudice toward any one riding style or mode. I think people tend to gravitate toward whatever they have, and what they have is the best. And if they're not fortunate to have multiple modes to ride, then they immediately want to poo-poo on everything else that's not their size or their style or whatever. Sure, yeah, and finances are a huge part of it, being able to buy those toys. But, on the rider etiquette thing, do you wave at certain kinds of riders or, should you wave? That's bullshit, man. If anybody else is out there on 2 wheels or 3 wheels and they're exposed and they're in the environment instead of being in a cage, they get my wave, they get my nod, man. I mean, we're out here for the experience. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Well, and a lot of motorcyclists look down on the three-wheelers, whether it's a reverse trike like this or a traditional trike, because that's like a handicapped way to get around. You don't have the challenge of leaning, and your ride isn't as hard as mine, so you're not doing the work that I am. I got news for him. Ride a Ryker. This thing is work. This is not easy to ride. You don't have to balance it, but it's a very physical machine. Yeah, the stability, you got it. Yeah, so Nick is saying that the reverse trike platform like this is a perfect gateway machine to get someone into riding or to get them back into riding, because you don't have the balance aspect and you never have to worry about dropping the bike. It's stable by nature. It's not going to fall over. You would have to do something really silly to be able to flip this thing over. And its ability to do inclement weather and slow trundling along in traffic, there's no balance. You don't have to balance it, and you don't have to worry about the thing sliding out from underneath you. Now, you do have to worry about it hydroplaning, because I've already done that a few times. But yeah, well, put them under your feet. There's two paths that you can choose. Right under your feet is the only clean spot. Yeah, some of these are really nasty. Right. Yeah, there's a yaw effect because of the wheel slowing down over that bump. That's right. Now, when you ride the other larger Can-Am bikes, the Spyders, whether it's the F3s or the RTs or whatever, their steering is set up differently. Yep. Their steering is set up differently. They actually have rack and pinion, and they have power steering. So you get a lot less of the fight out of the bars than you do on the Ryker. The Ryker's full manual. So this thing has essentially go-kart steering. You've got, tie rods with an eccentric yoke in the middle, and you got a steering shaft that goes right down to turn that thing. So think go-kart, not car. Unlike the RTs and F3s and stuff like that, they've got power assist steering. It's a totally different experience. I used to come up to Stroud Lake and fish. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll stagger them up, whatever. It's all right, they don't need a lot of room. Yeah, we can stagger in each other's wheel path there. There we go. I ran into the fence. But it didn't scratch up my fender. Nah, I think the wheel hits first. Yeah, the wheel hits first. Yeah, I'll definitely be changing to the mesh gloves on the way out. Ugh. Sweaty hands.
These ones actually did really good. I didn't have to do any liners or anything this morning.
Yeah, it's not so cold this morning. All right, so here we are, Rock Cafe. All right, so it says we got 16 miles ahead and we turn left on Main Street, so we got a little ways to go. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he just narrowly missed me and about got Jackie. What the hell was that about? I don't know what the hell that was. That looked intentional. Shall we? As long as he didn't hit anybody. Man, that was nuts. Saw him he was just starting to cross the line, and I was reaching for my horn button and swerved away from him, and I looked back to see if, I was looking back to see if Jackie was okay, and whoa, that was close. Fancy. Yeah, that was on camera. Yeah, I don't know if it caught it in the rear view mirror because I hadn't swung my helmet down far enough yet, but definitely you could see him coming across at me. It was very close. Yeah, it was a good call putting the liner in and leaving it unzipped because it's still a little chilly at speed. Windy. Thought we were going to have that behind us this morning, but it shifted a little bit. Ugh, this road is rough. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of staggered ripples, man. The front end of mine is damaged. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Need a windscreen there, fella. Yeah, I'd like it better if the pavement wasn't so shitty, but you know. Yeah. It does suck, doesn't it? Good old Route 66. That's right. Just have to get off the bike in a little while and jump up and down to get my balls to settle again. Yeah, as long as we can video that process. If we can stay on the road at 65. Ugh. Gonna hang it. 7. Yeah, car coming. I got 92 on the second one. Sharper one coming up, watch out. Sharp left, sharp left. Slowing down to 45. Pavement, man. Washboardy shit. Yeah, washboard. How's that face shield looking from the inside? Sharp right, sharp right. Yep. Without traffic, of course. Bikers on the right. Hanging a left. Green light. All right, we keep on going for 22 miles. I saw that, or purple. That's a like fuchsia almost. That's got to be a girly bike. Purple. Oh yeah. Right lane, shag around the turn. Is asking what my dream bike would be. If I could sell all my other bikes just to get that one bike, what would it be? I don't know. I guess I'm a spoiled shit and I've got so many bikes that I don't have that one dream bike. There are a couple that I would really like that we don't get here in the States, over in Europe, and this is going to be, this will show how much of a geek I am. The Honda X-ADV, which is essentially a scooter on steroids with jacked up suspension. It's kind of a hybrid cross-up between the NC750X and the Africa Twin, but on a scooter type platform. That's a pretty cool bike. It's got DCT, it's got the NC750 motor, and you can take it pretty much anywhere, off-road it. Of course, I probably wouldn't off-road it. But would I get rid of all my other bikes to get that? Nah. Now, well, I've thought about it many times though, and if I had to get rid of all my bikes and only have one bike, what would it be? That would be the CB500X that I have. It's just a great all-purpose bike. It can do anything, go anywhere. I don't hesitate for even a second to take that thing across the country. It's comfortable. It's got serious long-range highway chops. It's not terribly fast or anything, but it'll do everything. And it's a good neutral bike. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the one bike that can do everything, so I don't think I would ever get rid of it. If I can ever clear the space in my garage and bring my KTM 790 Adventure home. It may replace the 500X as the do-it-all bike, but I'd have to get to know it before I can say that. KTM has not had the best reliability, so who knows, it might not be a good, reliable bike. If this guy in front of us would figure out how fast he wants to drive, he keeps swinging from 55 to 70. Well, if it opens up, we can. Yeah, I'll look for a long, clean spot. Yeah, we can't high-speed snake it because we're not tightened up enough. Yeah, I'm going to jump around him. You guys do it at your safety. Mind following behind him if you just maintain a speed. My bike is liking that ethanol free. I've got 91 on the trip meter right now, and I still haven't come off of the first bar. Yep, I wish we had it down in Texas. Easier to get anyway. Buc-ee's is the only station down there that carries ethanol free that I've found. Bump. Go back and pick up my kidney, would you? I said, go back and pick up my kidney, would you? Finally, the pavement got better. Oh yeah, check out that old Chevy to the right. Nicely done, sir. Oh yeah, that was well restored. You need a lawnmower? Ooh, windy here. $55. Car is turning left. Yep, already got them on. $45, 405, 405. Okay. Okay. Bump. It's 10%.
Let's go back over to Honda and see what they got.
Swing over there, see what they got.
I'll tell you what. You guys hang out.
Yep, swing over. Yep, I'm just gonna pull out.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's an old station.
Oh, never mind.
I try to stay away from these old stations because they got a lot of crap in their tanks. Okay. Well, do we want to go on down the road and look for some pure gas? Yeah, I just came off of the first tick. Look at my autonomy. I think I was on autonomy. Okay. Yeah, it says I've got 67 miles. That's dangerous as shit. Watch your mirrors, watch your mirrors. Oh yeah, we're all good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. No, sorry, left, my bad. It says 250 feet, turning left. It said right a second ago, but it's actually left. That's why comms are good. That's why comms are good. And hang a right. Hang a right. Okay. All right. Oh, big bump. Ay, shit. Huge bump on the left. Watch out. Yeah, I'll get one. Oh, big bump. Ay, shit. Huge bump on the left. Watch out. Bad pavement on the left. Bad pavement. Bad pavement on the left. Bad pavement. Yeah, bad pavement. Yeah. Yeah, I can pull off. Okay, we're pulling off. Shoulder, shoulder, right shoulder, shoulder, shoulder. Watch your traffic behind you there, Nick. That's all right. Wait, yep. Now. Go. Yeah, I saw it and I lipped it, and then there were two more giant chunk holes right after it. I was like, ah. Yep, that is a problem with the Rykers. You can't miss that shit. You're going to hit some of it no matter what you do. On a bike, you can shag around it because you got a single track. Yeah, that was a hard one. Yeah, you probably just bottomed out the shock. Yeah, traffic coming on. Oh, man, these seams are terrible. Seams are terrible. They do. So we're gonna go left here for Sapulpa, Oklahoma City. All right, 4K. Nick just made 4,000. All right. Buffalo. Yeah, ride the Ryker right up on top, park next to it. Yeah, we know the way back, so anybody else can lead. Where was it? I don't remember. All right, everyone. everyone. Well, rejoining the ride in progress, but now we found a problem. Nick's Ryker. We just stopped to take a picture of the big white cock here. And we just found some ugly news. His bike is under the recall for having cracked or split wheel nuts. And sure enough, we got a split wheel nut here. So that's no good. I'm trying to get in there close, but I don't know what the camera's picking up. So that is split clean through. It's opened all the way up, and there's a big gap. So he no longer has positive tension on this guy, and it could potentially back out, and that's not good. And we're, still 75 miles away from anywhere. So we're calling around to all the dealers right now, seeing if we can find anybody that has one of these in stock. It is a recall item, but the dealer where he picked his up didn't have any in stock. So, yeah. Gonna have to limp it home and see what we do from there. His other front one looks okay for now. I don't know if the recall is for all three or if it's just the fronts. I'm sure it's probably the same nut all the way around. I checked my bike before the trip, and I'm not under the recall. My VIN number wasn't in the list.
Well, I will say this, man. At least you got to see your cock one more time.
I got to see my nut. I got to see my cock one more time before the nuts fell off.
That's just wrong.
And you up.
So we got to see his big white cock and his nuts. That's not going in the video.
That'll go in the for real.
Yeah, clear sky, so it's gonna lose a lot of heat. It does look nice. About 10 or 15 minutes ago, I bet it was incredible. Well, I will say this, the pavement here is a whole lot smoother than on 66. Well, yeah, Nick is sure bummed out. That would suck. I said Nick sure is bummed out about the wheel. That sucks. Yeah. Yeah, the timing is unfortunate. It's bright, isn't it? Yeah, it's just too bright. Yeah, I notice it a lot. I don't ride the Ryker too much at night, but I go in and out of a lot of parking garages in the Houston area. So when I come from outside into a parking garage, I notice how bright that thing is. It's just, yeah, you don't notice it. Yeah, at night it is super bright. Yeah, exactly. What I'm thinking is put a little, like a medium gray, one of those peel and stick window things, those self-adhesive window deals. Yeah, exactly. Just to dim it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be so obnoxious. Yeah, the static things you put on glass. Yeah, that ought to work. Because, yeah, even then, you'd still be able to see it in daylight. It would just tone down that backlight. Yeah, just a variable dimmer, or even, what they should have on there is a light sensor. So at night, it automatically dims itself. They're going a different way. They're taking
Yeah.